Hey, everybody, how you doing? Well, that's good. Welcome to PHLY Flyers, presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app and use code PHLY365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. I'm your director of fun and games, Bill Max, for this Mischief Night edition. I miss TP in houses so bad. Now it's not called mischief; it's called vandalism when you're an adult.
I believe it was still vandalism when you did it.
Yeah, like
You're
no
never
one
too
cared.
old to have fun, William.
I am joined today, long time no see, guys, by
right.
Philadelphia's #1 hockey beat writer, Charlie O'Connor, and Broad Street Hockey's own Kelly Hinkle. How are we doing today, guys?
Like we never left, really.
It's like
We're
we never left.
back in the same seats,
Sure
sitting
are.
right here.
Yeah.
It wasn't that long ago that post-game wrapped up. Something I wanted to start today's show with. We did mention on the post-game last night that it was the Flyers' first regulation win in Boston since 2011. What did not occur to me was that game, it was the opening game of the season in Boston.
Right.
It's the banner-raising ceremony after the Bruins had just won the Cup, famously. They went 7 games in every round, except, of course, for sweeping the Flyers in the second round.
Yeah, that went well.
And it was the NHL debut of Sean Couturier. It was the Flyers' debut of Jágr, Schenn, Simmons, Voracek, and Briz.
Indeed.
Oh, man.
Danny Briere, now the team's GM, on the team. It's hilarious to think that it's been this long. This was
wild.
like 3 incarnations of the team ago.
Yep.
I just hadn't Sean Couturier in between this game and last night when they beat them in regulation in Boston again, played over 800 games. And missed the whole, could be at 1,000 if not for some stoppages and missing a whole season. It is unbelievable that now they're not in the same division, but they're in the same conference. They play 2 to 3 times every year.
Yeah.
This is insane.
The wild thing is the fact that during the season when they were all in the same division and they only could play each other,
Yes!
that the Flyers didn't squeeze out at least one win in Boston, one regulation win in Boston.
The 2020-21, they played them probably 9 times.
It was
Never
crazy.
won.
And they couldn't get a single regulation win.
They did get, I think that's the last time they just won in Boston
Yeah,
was
it
that
was.
year, and it was a shootout win, I
Yeah,
believe.
They barely
it's-
squeezed that one out.
Yeah.
I heard this today, and I was like, this is unbelievable. But it's the Flyers. They're allergic to being normal. And here we are in one of the worst starts to the season in a long time.
Normal's
They
boring.
accomplished something they have not accomplished since, I guess that's Pronger's debut as captain.
Right. It's at least 3 GMs ago, 4 if you want to consider that brief week and a half period where Paul Holmgren took the GM job.
He was
back
the GM
after they fired
while
Hextall.
they is that what you were counting
Yeah,
there?
I was counting how many GMs.
While they're replacing Hextall before they hire
Before they
Fletcher.
hired Chuck,
So
yeah.
it's at least 3 with an asterisk
Yeah.
GMs ago.
Although Paul Holmgren was the GM at this time,
he-
so I don't know if you even want to count
He
him.
was.
yeah, that's
Paul Holmgren 2.
it's 10 years.
Paul
you know?
Holmgren 2 asterisk.
Yeah, you just has to be a little notation.
Yep.
I heard this today. I was like, wait, oh my God, it was the opener. So it's that the beginning of a whole different chat. We were turning the page and now we're in another rebuild. It's just very funny to,
I remember how good we
funny to
all
think
felt
about.
after that game about the Ilya Brizgalov era.
well,
It was
That's
maybe the contract isn't that great, but at least we have a reliable starter.
well, it's coming out of that playoffs where Boston swept Philly. Flyers went to 7 with Buffalo. That's play Michael Leighton again, I guess. That's the whole, we need goalie carousel that they're on. They go out and get Briz that offseason, and then Briz starts his Flyers tenure giving up 1 goal against the Cup champs.
Yeah.
Well, what could go wrong?
Feeling
We
pretty
did it.
good.
We
Nothing.
fixed it. Problem solved. And then, of course, Pronger gets hurt. Briz falls apart. Everything is bad. And it's basically been bad since.
Well, they won a fun playoff series that year.
They
though.
did. They
They did
played.
do that.
They basically reenacted the championship from Slapshot. And then they played a real series against the Devils and lost in 5. Gentlemen's sweep. They won the first one. That was fun.
Yeah.
All right.
Danny Briere, game winner in
Let's get to current events now. Just that little trip down memory lane. I thought it was fun to do.
Do it, William.
Charlie, you just published like an hour ago
Oh, a link.
an article for diehards. And if you're not a diehard, you should sign up right now so you can read this article and everything we have to offer at allphly.com. Limited time, $48 for the annual subscription. Comes down to $4 a month. $4. I spent more than that on energy drinks today.
The sell that we used to do at the other place that I will leave
bad place?
nameless was it's a cup of coffee each month. That's all it is.
Cup of coffee.
Barely.
The pumpkin cream cold brew with 2 shots, that's like $7.80.
That's a lot of instructions.
That was what we were told to say, like on Twitter and to people you met. They would be like, "Well, I don't really feel like subscribing to read sports journalism." It's like, just sacrifice 1 cup of coffee a month, and there you go. That's the price. And that's what I'll say to all of you.
I always feel shame, Kelly, when I go up and I'm like, pumpkin cream cold brew, 2 shots of espresso. Like, I just feel
more
shame.
instructions
Just
equals worse.
Coffee
and more
black.
expensive.
No, I've moved on from coffee black.
I don't drink coffee. So
Anyway.
there's that.
So
I don't have a good frame of reference of how much they cost.
Grande Pike
we
Place. Keep it
spent
moving.
like a lot of time last night talking about the game itself, everything that's happened in the first 9-10 games. And honestly, I should have taken Bryn's advice to make today our off day. But I'm obsessed with Fridays off. So
I mean,
we're going to do something stupid and fun today. It's going to be Flyers Trick or Treat.
Okay.
I'm going to name a player or a member of the organization, and we're going to say if he's been a trick or a treat so far. It's just a dumb way for me to show these fun Photoshops.
trick in a bad way.
Yeah.
All
Trick
right.
is bad, treat is good. Yes.
Okay.
We're-
Making sure.
We're going to start with the coaching staff. John Tortorella,
all right.
Brad Shaw, and Rocky Thompson.
Reasonable.
Oh my God. This is going to be the greatest show of my life.
3 Musketeers.
The Flyers.
I mean, they're
Look at Brad
it's
Shaw.
Clever. It's clever.
There's an old rapper that actually has the Musketeers on it, but like I couldn't
God.
figure out how to make that
You're my
work.
favorite person on earth.
This was my morning.
Fair enough.
Like, Abe is calling me, like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm working
I'm
hard.
having so much fun.
I am in the content mines, hon. What do you need?"
Oh my God.
Like, I'm just naming candies for Bryn to Photoshop.
I feel bad though. I mean, while I do agree these are probably the 3 most public-facing coaches, I feel a little bad for Darrell Williams and Kim Dillaball.
Yeah.
They deserve
Those aren't real
some
people.
love.
I was thinking, I was like, because we know what Shaw and Thompson do, like forwards,
Yeah.
power play, defense.
We know what Kim Dillaball does too. It's just that I feel like the goalie coach is different because the goalies
Yes.
still get most of the blame.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I don't know, stop the puck, bro, because
Yeah.
none of us
do that.
None of us can explain goaltending, so we definitely can't explain goalie coaching. Like, I don't know, stop letting the puck in, dude. Like, that's
On opening night, when they were introducing the entire coaching staff, I was like, who are you people? Why are there so many of you?
No, like
Where
Darrell
do they hide
Williams.
you all?
Darrell
don't understand.
Williams came up like a week or 2 ago, and I was like, oh yeah, him.
That guy.
Forgot about him.
All right.
And Kim Dillaball, it's like, yeah, the goalies.
Yeah,
I
the
don't
goalies,
know.
right.
It's
Goalie
like
coach.
the
That's basically what John Tortorella says about it. It's
Yeah.
like, Kim does that. I don't
think
know
of-
anything about goalies. That's Kim's department.
I think of the goalies and goalie coach thing as like the Water Boy, where it's like special teams run laps, and it's just the kicker,
Right.
And the
yeah.
guy who with the Louisiana,
Fran,
with the Louisiana accent
Yeah.
that you can't understand. But anyway, the coaching staff: Tortorella, Shaw, and Thompson. Team is 3-6-1,
Yeah.
a few percentage points ahead of the Penguins for last in the division. They're tied with Chicago for the 3rd worst points percentage. They have a minus 11 goal differential, which is 5th worst in the league. However, special teams, a strength at both ends for the first time in a while. Power play is 12th in the league at 22.2.
Oh my God.
PK,
Yeah.
5th at 87.2. Coaching staff overall.
So here's
a
my
trick or a
here's
treat.
my
gonna
question.
say,
Are we
okay.
going individual or
All
overall?
together?
I think like John Tortorella gets the grade for his assistants. Like
Okay.
the way how when he was suspended
I don't
or
like
when
that.
he just doesn't feel like coaching and is up in the box, he still gets the winner or the loss on his record,
Yeah,
even
that's
though he's
true.
not actually there.
That's true.
So it's the coaching staff as a whole.
Because I would definitely give different grades for the individual
Same.
coaches.
All right.
Rocky Thompson
Well,
is
let's
a
do
Mounds
that.
bar. A miniature mounds
Rocky
bar.
Thompson, I believe, is so to me, honestly, if I'm going to do,
Laffy
and we'll do
Taffy,
all of them in a
coach.
second. But for me, if I'm going to look at all three, it would be John Tortorella, definitely Trick. I do not think he's done a very good job so far. Bradshaw, definitely Treat. And then Rocky Thompson is in the middle because Rocky, the power play is significantly better, but a lot of the forwards that he's coaching are not living up to expectations.
Yeah,
Also, I don't know if it's him that made the power play better, or if it's just
Matvei Michkov.
So you're just not
Matvei
willing to give him
Michkov.
any credit for this?
No.
Okay.
I mean,
Take
like,
your shirt off and fight somebody. Then I'll give you a treat.
while it is Mish,
It's a lot of it.
the power play also, like, you can't run an offense without a point guard. Like, he can be the most genius tactical coach in the world if none of the players he has to work with on the power play are capable of doing the things they need to do. Like, what? Nothing can be done about that.
Yeah.
Like, there's no coach that can make bad players good, or at least guys who don't thrive in this specific situation, like, do it. And now they have one guy, and he's made it work. Also, the second unit for the first, like, 2-3 games, were like, why is the second unit better than the first unit?
That's
like,
true.
that did happen for, like, a
That
week.
did happen.
Now it's the Mish show. But
Right.
because the power play has been abysmal, like 15% the last 2 years combined, I think, maybe lower. I got to give him, like, pretty good grades.
You're both.
But
sicko.
the thing, like, yeah, where all these forwards that we expect to score 20-plus goals, they all have
They're
one.
not.
What are we
Yeah.
doing?
That's the big thing, and that's why I can't give him a treat the way I 100% am giving Bradshaw a treat.
He gets all the treats.
Penalty kill, still great. And the defense, honestly, like, yes, would it be nice if we saw more from Jamie Drysdale and Yegor Zamola through a few games? It would. I'm not going to hold the Drysdale development against him because I think it's going to take time. Zamola's a disappointment.
Yes.
He is an absolute disappointment. I thought there was maybe a mini breakthrough last year with him. He's regressed, and that is ultimately on Shaw. However, Cam York, getting better. Travis Sanheim, still good. Rasmus Ristolainen, maybe getting even
Top
better
pair.
than he got better the last time.
Risto playing first pair minutes, and I can't believe that there's a Sanheim Ristolainen pair, and I'm like,
I'm into
yeah,
it.
baby, give
That's
me more
pretty
of
good.
that.
See, I'm kind of the opinion at this point that if Bradshaw can't fix you, it's because you just stink.
You're not good.
Which
Yeah.
is why I'm starting to 10 games, so I'm tempering my nonsense. But I do worry a little bit about Jamie Drysdale. Because if he's just like a dumb guy and he can't do hockey at NHL speed in his brain,
I don't think he's dumb.
I'm
In
not-
the conversations I've had with
All
him,
right, I mean,
he does not strike me as dumb. But
not dumb like globally.
right.
Dumb
But
like
if the hockey IQ
I bet
just
he can
processing
read, yeah.
ability
yeah, I'm
is
sure
not
he can
there
read
on the ice.
Yeah, he could
It's
probably
possible.
do basic addition. Anyway, I just feel like Bradshaw can't fix that, right? So like I'm not ready to say like because Jamie Drysdale hasn't made vast improvements, it's because Bradshaw has somehow failed at his job.
I'm
So,
just not ready to say yet.
I don't know yet either.
Yeah.
But I'm going. I got to go Trick because it's 2/3 Trick, 1/3 Treat for me in this group.
Right.
So
The guy in this group of three that I'm the most disappointed with so far is John Tortorella
Mhm.
because you're looking at a team that it's not even just the record, although the record is on him as much as it is on the players. It's been the lack of discipline. It's been the penalties. It's been the blown coverages. It's just been the things that I thought that he had
Messy.
got them
Mhm.
past. It's the whole idea of them being disconnected. Like, yes, I agree. We're watching it. They've looked disconnected for a lot of these 10 games. But while, of course, a portion of that is on the players.
Absolutely.
Because you can't let them off the hook. It's kind of the coach's job to make sure the team is connected. And if we're going to praise, and we should have, he deserved it. If we're going to praise John Tortorella for how cohesive the team looked through most of last season, you have to ding him for as uncohesive as they look now.
And like even when they start losing last year, it's like, well, you know, how far was this really going to go? We expected the other shoe to drop from November on, and they kept getting better. Even when they start losing, we're like, all right, good run. And they still are doing some of the things. It's just now the game changes as we get to this point in the season, and it's his job to, all right, and next year we hope to see improvements in those areas. And it's, read your article today, like, yeah, we're not seeing improvements in some of those areas. Like they're sustaining less pressure.
Yeah.
They're doing,
Yeah.
they're a little worse than they were last year. That's got to be on the coach. So overall, I think we've seen some positive signs in a couple of the last few games, but coaching staff as a whole, trick.
I guess,
Yeah.
but I want to make it clear that Brad Shaw
has absolutely done a very...
Brad Shaw is a KitKat. He's just thinking, give me a break.
Hey.
See, this is what we're doing
jokes.
today.
And also,
Baby.
KitKats are fantastic.
Yes.
They're a delightful candy.
There were certain players that got assigned certain candies because they're like top tier candies.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
perfect.
And other things
I'm
that
so
were assigned to
excited to
guys
see
that are like, well, these
who's
are
what.
these guys are disappointments.
Okay.
I'm so
Before
excited.
we get into some of the players and whether they're trick or treats, I got to tell you about our presenting sponsor each and every day here, Bet365. Whatever. It's just taking some getting used to. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Our sportsbook partner has 90 million users worldwide and live streams 780,000 events each year. They're one of the pioneers in live in-game betting, and one of the things I've been telling you about since they came aboard, the early payouts across the NBA, NFL, NHL, and Major League Baseball. The team you bet on in the money line, say, the Flyers, perhaps. If they take a 3-goal lead, you win. You win. You bet them on the money line up 3. Doesn't even matter how the game ends. They lose in overtime or something. You get paid regardless. That's what makes Bet365 never ordinary. One of the things I absolutely love about them. So download the Bet365 app. Use code PHLY365 when you sign up to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 or older and physically located in Pennsylvania. If you or somebody knows a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. And I know sometimes we place these bets and maybe it's not going so well. Like all my Owen Tippett bets this year, for instance. When that happens, you just got to chill. That's gambling. That's why they call it gambling, but that's where Coors Light comes in, because Coors Light celebrates when you choose chill. This team, they drive us absolutely nuts. We know that. We've been doing this a long time together. I don't think any of us are getting more sane. That's why we all sometimes need to chill, and there's no better way to chill than with an ice-cold Coors Light. So whether you're freaking out about goaltenders, goal-scoring bets, maybe the overall record, whatever it is, you need to find the Blue Mountains in your fridge and enjoy a beer as cold as the Rockies. Because when everything surrounding your favorite team is on fire, sometimes you just gotta chill. Make the most out of the times you choose to chill. Choose Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door, or find a store near you by going to CoorsLight.com/PHLY Hockey. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. All right, now we get to the players on this team, and we lead it off with rookie sensation Matvei Michkov.
Yes,
Of course.
that is correct,
Reese
sir.
is the best.
He is
the
a
top
Reese's
tier.
cup.
The GOAT.
I mean,
The GOAT of Halloween candies.
Yeah.
the candy itself, the best.
Right.
The wrapper
100.
itself
The color,
lends itself to
perfect
Halloween.
for Halloween.
Also, the Flyers colors.
Yes.
Like it's
Agreed.
just absolutely perfect.
You're not wrong.
And that's
I'm
our Mad
glad we
Russian.
all agree on the
100.
GOAT Halloween candy.
We take a look at the rookie scoring race, still at the top, tied with Logan Stankoven at 9 points, but he is the tiebreaker with the 4 goals. No other rookie has more than 2 or 3 goals, it looks like. Seamus Casey, never heard of him, but good for him.
He's a
3
real
goals
person.
in the season.
Yeah, he's a defenseman for the Devils. He's intriguing. He's
Oh,
on
yeah,
the small
yeah.
side, but he's got some upside to
A
be sure.
roadie
Yeah.
for the Dropkick Murphys.
Next,
The roadie
yeah.
for the drop does have serious roadie for Dropkick
He's,
Murphys or Flog and Molly type vibes.
the next Will Butcher. Nice rookie year. There we
Right,
go.
yeah.
All right.
Good job.
Good for you. But we look at him atop the rookie scoring race, and obviously he has been the catalyst for this much improved power play, jumping 20 spots from where they finished last season, from 32nd all the way to 12th, up 10%. The previous 2 seasons, that's what it's been, 13.8%. The power play over the last 2 previous seasons. Of course, 32nd. At 5-on-5, there have been some struggles, and we've seen them especially over the last couple of games.
Yeah.
He's only got 1 assist, and it's a secondary, and 8 shots on goal at 5-on-5 through 10 games. Not terrible, but standing out mostly in 4-on-4 power play, non 5-on-5 situations. But I mean, scoring is scoring, and he's doing it,
Yeah.
and it's in an area in which the Flyers have been freaking horrible for several seasons now. Matvei Michkov, like, we're going to say he's a treat, no matter what. Absolutely.
The most delicious treat. Okay, that's weird to say out loud about a teenager. He is a treat.
He is. Did anyone see the video of Hartnell in postgame or at intermission last night?
I did.
I saw people complaining about it on Twitter. I didn't watch it.
He's complaining about the Michigan attempt.
Okay.
And you look
Explain why.
And he explains, like, oh, well, maybe he can dish it out in front. And I said last night, like, maybe we've seen these attempts recently, and it's because he's distributing the puck so much from behind the net. It's 4-on-1. Yeah. There's, I think, TK in the slot, and, like, 4 Bruins converging on him. That pass is never making it.
Exactly. If there was a pass there, he would make the pass.
I guess he could have dished it. He could have dished it back out to the point if he changes directions and goes back around the net. But it's like, again, a whole bunch of traffic. That shot's probably not getting through by Nick Seeler, and it's outside. I just think this is going to be a thing with some of the older guys, especially.
Scott Hartnell isn't even that old. He's just.
I remember seeing an interview with him a few years ago when he was still playing. But he's like, man, I couldn't toe drag when I came into the league. Now all the kids come in with these hands. They can do this stuff.
Watch everybody so good.
It's just not the type of player he was. And I think those guys are going to always have some sort of issue.
Well, there's also an element, too. And I don't know if this influenced Scott Hartnell's opinion on it. But where did Scott Hartnell score a ton of his goals? Right in that spot Konechny was. So he's probably thinking, well, I would have been ticked off if I would have been, stationed there waiting for a pass, and then this kid does a Michigan.
Back it off me.
So maybe that played out. Yeah, just toss it at me. I'll knock it with my knee. I don't care.
Exactly. And listen, they do need to get some more greasy goals and stuff like that. That is a thing. But this is just where the game is now.
Yeah.
I think the craziest thing to me about Misha's Michigan attempts is coming around that side as a lefty. You would think it would be easier going the other way, but he kind of does it in like a turnaround sort of way. I just find that part interesting because he's so skilled he can do it. And like, I also was a stone-handed player. It blows me away that it's possible, but he has some stuff to learn. I don't think that's like an issue.
Yeah, and one thing I want to bring up, because I bring it up in the article I wrote that just came out about an hour ago, the idea that he's been bad at 5-on-5, while I understand where it comes from, obviously he only has the 1 assist. It's a secondary assist on the Nick Seeler goal. It's not going to keep going. And basically, when he's on the ice, the Flyers are collecting about 54% of the expected goals. When he's off the ice, this is a 5-on-5. When he's off the ice, they're collecting about 47%. In addition, they are a substantially better offense creation team. They're averaging about 3.62 expected goals for per 60 at 5-on-5 when he's on the ice. Now, good teams are usually around 2.7, 2.8. 3.6, real good. And then when Michkov is off the ice, they're down at 2.03, real bad. The reason why the Flyers are not scoring when he's on the ice at 5-on-5 is not because he's doing a bad job at creating chances. It's because no one is finishing. The Flyers are scoring, I believe it's about 6% shooting percentage when he's on the ice at 5-on-5. When Nick Delorier is on the ice at 5-on-5, they're scoring at like 13. I have a feeling that Delorier's on ice shooting percentage is going to go down as the year goes on, and Michkov's is going to go up, most likely. This is more fluky than anything else. Expect 5-on-5 production from Michkov to be coming very soon. The flip side of that, though, is the power play production is probably going to dip a bit. He's probably not going to keep scoring at a rate that is better than like all but one season that Claude Giroux has had on the power play. Probably not going to keep doing that good.
So I actually like this because it's very funny to me that it's extremely Claude Giroux. Remember whenever he used to be like, he doesn't score any 5-on-5 points at home.
Yeah, true.
Like it was like always a thing.
There's a year where he didn't have his first even strength home goal until like halfway through the season.
Everyone made it like a whole thing.
Well,
and
by
it was
everyone, it was a couple of guys.
A couple beat writers. You're no longer on the beat anymore.
Yeah. Right. So anyway, it makes me laugh kind of that Meech can't get a point at 5-on-5.
I just think that this is a situation where if you're evaluating Matvei Michkov's first 10 games, the start of his season, yes, you can drill down into the numbers and you can be like, well, it hasn't been scoring that much at 5-on-5. Power play's been good, and really like, nitpick it and go super in depth. But in the end, the most important thing is that he has 9 points in 10 games because even if the power play production dips a bit, the 5-on-5 production is going to go up just naturally as long as he keeps doing what he's doing. And I expect he's going to keep doing what he's doing. Like, there are times where, especially in the early season, we can get too laser focused on binning different types of production. Whereas in reality, we should just be looking at it as, he's 19 years old, he's nearly point per game.
Points are points.
That's real good.
Yeah, and like, he has been excellent on the power play. Chances are he didn't make the group 10% better overnight. Like,
maybe he did.
Maybe,
even if he has, I don't think he's going to keep scoring at the rate he's been scoring.
Like, that's possible. And the team as a whole, like, okay, he's not scoring a 5-on-5. Who is? Name me the players who have.
Yeah, right?
It's a very fair point.
There's no. He's a teenager. Like, it's just trying to look at what has actually happened, because we are very excited about Matvei. Certainly,
I just think
there are things that
he
could be better at, but there are things that honestly I also believe they are going to come around because he keeps creating the chances.
His defensive play,
his team
at
cannot
times,
score.
has not been good. The thing is that if you're looking at it from a differential standpoint, his offensive play has been good enough to outweigh the defense. Now, would it be better if he was being better defensively? No. Sure. And I know you are of the belief that he doesn't have to do any defense at all. I strongly disagree with that.
Cherry picked the whole time.
But I do believe that the offense is good enough that even if this is the final version of Michkov, and I don't think it is, the offense is good enough to outweigh the defense. It's just I want him to continue to improve and get better defensively so he can be a, 60% expected goal guy and a true superstar rather than a 54% expected goal guy. I think that would be cool.
It would be cool.
There was the cherry pick the whole time reminded me, there was this time in high school where we had this game against Washington Township, and they were our huge rival. We brawled with them in the stands all the time. It was ridiculous. But their point men were so good. There's like all their offense came from their defense. We decided to take our best player and cherry pick him the whole game, thinking, oh, well, then one of the D-men will have to follow him out into the neutral zone.
Right.
No. They ignored him.
Oh, my God.
Played 5-on-4 the whole game.
And won.
And they killed us. Yeah. He had a hat trick cherry picking because they were able to get a couple pucks up to him. But
it's almost
end of the day, it went poorly.
It's almost like you can't be fully one-dimensional.
Yeah.
This is a scene
you can.
in the movie that is William's life.
All right. Let's go to Sean Couturier. We got Coots, the captain.
Snickers.
I made him a Snickers because he's a classic. The Snickers is like the original candy bar.
Wrong with a Snickers.
There's some. He's good defensive play in there. That's the crunch.
He got a little.
He had a
crunch.
Yeah, he had the one good game.
A little smoothness.
That's the rest of the. But Sean Couturier, 5 out of his 6 points, as Charlie pointed out in his article today, came in the Minnesota game.
Right.
So it's like, oh yeah, he's scoring again. Well, I guess kind of, but not really.
Yeah, I'm almost thinking of and then this isn't a Halloween candy, but I'm thinking of Cool Ranch Doritos, where you get like 2 or 3 that aren't that seasoned, and then you get the one that has all the seasoning. It's like, this is the greatest thing ever. That is Sean Couturier so far this season.
That is tremendous.
He's approaching like 60% in the faceoff circle. He's at like 58.9.
He's drawing penalties again.
He's second on the team with 52.31 expected goals for percentage. Scoring chance for percentage. This is the one that really got me. He's the only player on the team above 56.64. Natural stat trick. I know you and I use a different place.
I use evolving hockey. They're going to come out similar.
It's going to be about the same.
But there are going to be some distinctions from percentage.
I just he's the only one as an individual above 50% in the scoring chance battle. Leads team with a 58.3 goals for percentage. So it's also going well when he's out there.
Yeah, they're outscoring the other teams by a significant margin.
Outside of the Minnesota game, the scoring still isn't where you'd want it to be. Right. But listen, if 6 points every 10 games is what he is, I can't imagine we'd ask for anything more from Sean Couturier at this point in his career.
I'll take it.
I'm looking for a little bit more. I'm probably looking for about 3/4 of a point per game. That's my hope for Couturier this year.
If he can drive the play the way he's capable,
yes,
and TK and Michkov can take over in the offensive zone, and he's just a guy, whether he gets a stick on it or he's just creating the traffic in front, that's fine.
Yeah.
If he does the defense that he can do, neutral zone play that he can do, and the other guys take over offensively, I can't expect anything more from Sean Couturier. So, in his first full season as captain, 10 games, trick or treat, Sean Couturier?
Oh, treat.
Yeah,
I'm
going to go treat overall, but I am cutting him some slack here because I do think that I think on the road trip, 3 out of the 4 games on the road trip, Calgary being the only exception, I thought he did not look good.
Yeah.
I think since they've returned from the road trip, he's passed the eye test more, and he obviously has the one big game. And if you look at the overall 10-game sample size statistically, he looks good. But he still needs to prove that it wasn't just a one-game perfect storm of awesome.
No, while a hat trick 5-point game is nice, maybe spread it out a little.
Yeah.
But I will say he is, at the very least, trending towards treat. Like,
he looks better, too.
He just simply
looks better.
Eye test wise, he looks so much better than he did from January on last year.
And even so much better than he looked in most of that road trip. Most of that road trip, he looked like he did last year. He did, or the end of last year, I guess is the better way to put it.
Trending up.
And
that's why I made him a Snickers. It's not my favorite, but you know what? A Snickers is damn good sometimes.
Solid. You gave me a Snickers,
I appreciate a Snickers.
Yeah.
Before we go any further, I got to tell you about our upcoming watch party.
Heyo.
It's Screwball Sports Bar and Grill in King of Prussia. Flyers are in Sunrise to take on the Cup champs, the Florida Panthers, on Saturday, November 9th. And you can come hang with me and the gang. A live show and watch party. There's a raffle, giveaways, Coors Light specials. So go right now to allphly.com and grab your ticket so you don't miss out on the raffle or the pair of Coors Lights that come complimentary with each ticket. It's only $10. Go check it out now at allphly.com. If you've been to one of our watch parties, any of our live events before, you know the giveaways are well worth your $10 raffle entry ticket, whatever it is. So make sure you go to allphly.com right now so you can join us at Screwballs for some ice-cold Coors Lights, a watch party, live pre- and post-game show, all that. Screwballs. It's just really fun to say. All right. Travis Sanheim.
Yeah.
KitKat.
Oh, he gets the KitKat.
He does.
Love that.
And it's...
I'm a big KitKat person. Like, KitKat and Reese's are basically on the same tier for me. It just depends on what I'm more in the mood for on a given night.
I have a question. How do you eat them?
Eat KitKats?
Mm-hmm.
I break them.
You break them like a normal person.
Each one.
Yeah.
And then
I eat them individually. I don't eat them as like one big bar.
Like a bar.
No, I don't do that.
That's
psycho
psychotic.
behavior. Yes.
No, that's how you identify. That's how you identify people who might need to be on a list.
I eat them in a third strange way, but we don't need to go into it.
You know what? We don't have that much time.
The entire marketing concept is give me a break.
Yes.
Break me off a piece of that KitKat bar.
I eat the
How do
chocolate.
you not do the breaking?
I break it and then I eat the chocolate off the outside and then I eat.
I feel like we've had this conversation
We might have.
before, or
Wow.
someone else has told me
to
that.
each other for a long time.
Yeah, or someone else has told me that, and you're the second person. There's no way that that's true. So it has to be you. Anyway, I gave Travis Sanheim KitKat because begrudgingly, like KitKat, I wouldn't put in my top tier.
Okay.
And then when I eat one, I'm like, this is amazing.
Well, this is actually perfect because my view of Travis Sanheim has always been significantly higher than your view of
There
it.
you go.
And I think it's time for maybe me to give Travis Sanheim a break. Like, it's time for him to get his just due. He has played well for the most part. And I got to say, while we gave Bradshaw some credit for Risto, I got to give a little bit of the credit to Travis Sanheim.
A little bit.
That pair has looked real good. And our view of Rasmus Ristolainen for the majority of the time he's been here, it's like, you know what we need him to do? Not suck. Like, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been better than that. And I want to give Sanheim some credit for that because I'm looking again at some expected goal numbers here. Sanheim and Ristolainen, they've played over 52 minutes together at 5-on-5, 68.39 expected goal percentage. Real good.
So close to being
that's
nice.
awesome.
Like, almost.
It's really good.
That's freaking awesome.
It's
I'm not
real
even going
good.
to downplay. That is great.
Yeah.
Sanheim and York over 102 minutes together at 5-on-5, 54.38. Also pretty good.
Very good. And a larger sample.
Yeah, much larger sample.
Yeah, double the sample.
Every other pair on the team that has played like more than 10 minutes together at 5-on-5, below 47%.
Well.
Travis Sanheim, he's the common denominator here. Only Konechny with 5 and Michkov with 4 have scored more goals than Sanheim's 3. I guess I just got to give him a break. It's time to give Travis Sanheim his just due. His most valuable thing isn't laughing about trying to make him a 3-time most improved player. It's actually his play on the ice.
Maybe this is the year.
Treat Travis Sanheim.
100% treat.
Definitely a treat. And I wasn't 100% sure if he was playing all that well over the first 4 or 5 games of the year because I was so impressed with what Cam York was doing.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, maybe it's York driving that pair and Sanheim's a little bit of a passenger. He's benefiting from Cam York taking a step up. And unfortunately, we've gotten to see that wasn't the case. I say unfortunately because in an ideal world, Cam York wouldn't have gotten hurt because I want to see Cam York play. He looks like he's taking a step forward. However, the fact that Sanheim has continued to thrive without York, I still am trusting my eyes that York was legitimately playing well, but now I'm of the belief that that pair was working because they both were playing really well. Because it's clear that Sanheim is actually playing well because we're watching with Ristolainen and he still looks good.
Yep.
That comment
I know, it made me laugh.
Charlie. No, yeah, the fact that he has drug
What?
We're bringing the black jersey
Unreal.
situation back.
Unreal.
Your
Yeah.
biggest personal
Brian
failure.
Knight is making an equivalency between my dissatisfaction with the black jerseys, the 90s black jerseys,
best jersey.
and KitKats, which are incredible. He calls them the most overrated candy bars ever. Brian, thank you for watching and listening, but it seems like we are going to disagree about everything. Just saying.
Fundamental values.
Fundamental difference
are
of values
different.
here.
Yes.
All right.
Cannot come together.
This next one we're going to hit. We're a treat on Travis Sanheim.
Oh,
Yes.
treat.
Okay. Morgan Frost,
Oh.
5 points on the
Yeah.
season. Yeah.
Yes, this is
My
accurate.
mom really likes Almond Joys.
It's a
I
friggin'
just-
letdown.
fan.
I just
What is
hate
this?
coconut.
What is this doing in my
I
basket?
believe Brenna's favorite is
Brenna.
Almond
That's
Joy.
Almond Joy. Okay.
So
Listen, I just don't like
I don't
coconut.
like coconut either.
I just don't like
No,
coconut.
it's not
It's a
for me.
texture thing.
Mm.
It's too sweet.
I
That's
just
my problem with like the coconut bit. It's just like
I just think it's like
Okay.
sand. It's like, what
it's-
am I?
and it's gross.
What's
Yeah, I don't
going
like
on
it.
here?
It's not for me.
Anyway, Morgan Frost, 5 points on the season, all assists, and his game log is just like he is a trick by definition. No points, 1 assist,
Not good.
2 assists,
Not
then
great.
4 straight with no points, and he was a -8 in those games. Then
Well.
1 assist, then 0 points, and then last night he picks up the secondary on Forster's goal. It's just like, what are you? You're a trick. You're a good.
Figure out what you do.
You had all summer to figure out what you do. Like, we gave you Mish. It lasted like 2 games.
Yeah.
The guy that John Tortorella is like, I'm just gonna make a case we gotta buy him out. We're gonna get rid of Sean Couturier, whether it costs us like basically his whole salary because of the signing bonus situation for the first half of the buyout. I'm gonna put him on the 4th line and make Danny Briere buy him out. Nah, he's the 1C
Yeah, he's
again
the 1C
because
again.
Morgan Frost is
Oh,
even
well.
worse. Like, there's something there. We don't have to get into the whole argument we got into last night because that was 20 minutes of the post game.
It sure was.
But
Wasn't expecting that one.
I'm fed up with him. And he's going to have a stretch where I'm like, oh, yeah, good for him.
Yeah, he's great.
He's doing real well. And then he's going to do this again. I just need him to be better than a half a point a game player. Like, he doesn't do anything else well enough to be like, oh, yeah, 40 points is enough.
You know what I think has disappointed me the most about Morgan Frost to start this season is I had been wondering for 2 years, multiple years, what will Morgan Frost be if he doesn't get jerked around like crazy to start a season? Because you have 1 year he gets hurt, he busts up his shoulder.
Yeah.
Then he gets screwed around by John Tortorella at the beginning of 2 straight seasons where it's like, oh, you're a scratch. Sorry, don't like you. And then he seems like he gets going in like December. And my thought was, I'd love to see a full 82-game season of Morgan Frost when he's not getting jerked around, when they just let him play through it and see what he does. And unfortunately, it looks like Morgan Frost maybe is a slow starter because he's not getting pulled out of the lineup. Like, he got put on the fourth line for a little bit in one game, but he's been a staple on that top power play unit. He played with Matvei Michkov, a guy who at 19 is scoring at nearly a point per game pace, and he's still struggling to start the year. I'm disappointed because he's getting the leash I wanted him to get to start a season. He's not getting messed with by Torts too much.
Yeah.
And yet he's still not living up to the expectations that we had for him. That's disappointing for me.
Perfect Flyer. Slow starter.
Slow starter.
That's what we
And
do
that's what's annoying is I know he will have a hot streak. He will have 8
he'll
points in
figure it
6 games at one point, and we'll be like, oh, his numbers look okay. And then they'll dip back down, and at the end of the year, he'll be around half a point a game. And it's John Tortorella's issue with him from last year, where they go, oh, it really looks like he's worked on the details. He's better defensively. Contrary to popular belief, he is winning some faceoffs. Maybe not at the right times, Well, like, that's the thing about faceoffs is overall it's an overrated stat, but there can be huge faceoffs.
Yeah.
And it seems like he's losing them at those inopportune times, but his percentage is over 50. I just need him to score, and he doesn't score enough. And that's the problem. He has no goals.
He's had some opportunities, too.
That's
He's had
the
some big
thing.
opportunities.
That's what's driving me crazy is I don't know what's going on. Like, it's just yips because he's getting opportunities. And it's like, just put it in the net.
He is getting opportunities. Like, I'm thinking that one wraparound. He's had a couple
There were a couple open,
open nets that he's missed. But even if you toss him one of those goals, I don't think he has been impactful enough consistently in the offensive zone.
No, definitely.
Like, maybe you give him a goal where he should have finished that one, but he's still then only at what, 1 goal and 4 assists?
Yeah.
That's not enough. You want to see more from Morgan Frost, especially given the fact that he's on a top power play unit that's actually clicking, and he was getting time to start the year with Matvei Michkov. You just want to see more, and we're not seeing it.
Frosty treat. All right.
Lord.
I think he can turn it around. I do. But I was hoping that we wouldn't have to go through this again.
No.
And this time the coaches are actually giving him a leash, and we're going through this again.
He will absolutely turn it around, and then there will be, if you start from November 12th through January 2nd, he was producing at the top of the league, great. It's like, yes, but there's 82 games in a season.
Exactly.
He can't only be good for 30 of them at a time.
Yeah.
And that's what he's been for several years now. It's very frustrating, much like coconut. All right. Joel Farabee. I went with Skittles because while I like Skittles a lot, they are one of my favorite candies.
Okay.
It's not chocolate. And I know Charlie.
Yeah.
Charlie's belief about, especially, because he's much healthier than me. So if he's going to cheat, it's chocolate or bust for Charlie.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Skittles, but give me a Reese's cup. Come on, be a Reese's cup already. At least be a KitKat.
Yes. Yes.
Started the season on a 3-game point streak, had a goal and 2 assists. Then went 5 straight without a point, -7 in that time. 1 goal and 1 assist in the last 2. He turns 25 in February. What the hell is Joel Farabee?
Great.
What is he?
Yeah, you just don't know what color you're gonna get.
Yeah, and lime was apple. Now it's back to lime. Like, you don't know. What? In a year from now, when maybe there's like Jet Luchenko and he's a top 6 center, we maybe made some trades in the offseason. The pieces just fit a little better.
Right.
I'm not going to ask the question, is he here? Because it's pointless. If he is, where does he fit? Like, what is he? Is he a top 6 forward? Is he?
He could be. He's got the talent to be. I believe that. I do believe that.
For how long can we say he has the talent to be and him not show us?
Fair.
He will be 25 a couple of days after the Four Nations face-off.
He did show it to me the first 2/3 of last season, up until the All-Star break. He showed me that he can be on a nightly basis an impactful scoring forward, especially at 5-on-5. I still don't know what the heck happened to him after the All-Star break. And so far this year, he's been better.
He's been okay.
He's been better than he was from February on.
Which was terrible.
But not close to the heights we saw from him from, let's say, November through the end of January.
He's just another one of these very frustrating guys. And I realize there will be streaks throughout a season. When we talk about Owen Tippett, like, I'll have to follow my own words. Scores are streaky. And when you start the season on, I don't even know if it's a cold streak. Like, he's got 5 points in 10 games. He started with 3 points in the first 3. It's just, when you start the season not meeting expectations, it's kind of hard not to think of that
entire
as your impression of him.
It absolutely does. It colors the entire conversation because there's nothing before it to point to and say, well, he was better then.
Yeah.
Unless you want to go all the way back to last season. And the problem with Farabee is with him, just like the Flyers, you point to last season, you're like, well, he wasn't good from February until the end of the year.
Yeah, which part of the season?
Yeah.
Like,
if I got a pack of Skittles, I would find a weird kid like Charlie and trade them for something better. So, Joel Farabee.
Ooh, okay. Yeah.
I know we can't trade him
I would
because
never,
we don't have any left wings.
I wouldn't trade for Skittles because I would want chocolate. You'd have to throw in.
I'd have to find a weird kid that likes Skittles.
You'd have to throw in like a chocolate candy.
Dave Nonus, if you will.
Right.
Like some weird.
You'd have to do Skittles plus, one might say, a first-round pick.
I see. Skittles and a third.
Yeah.
Skittles and a third will get it done. All right. Before we go any further, I got to tell you about one of our top sponsors here. It's TrueMark Financial Credit Union. And they want to make sure you know how easy it is to switch from the big bank to the credit union, because that sounds like a pain, right? You have your direct deposit. You have all your things linked to your debit card and your bank account. It's like, oh, you want me to move? Yes, we do, because the benefits are fantastic. And the process is super easy. To find out about it, go to truemark.com/PHLY to find out how simple it is. Why do you want to do it, though? It's because you look at your big bank that you're probably banking with already, and that's a for-profit institution owned by shareholders. Their primary goal, generating profits for those shareholders, whereas a credit union like TrueMark Financial is a not-for-profit financial cooperative owned by the members. So if you live or work in Bucks, Chester, Delaware, Montgomery, or Philadelphia County, you're eligible to join, and you're eligible for the outstanding personalized service like advisors to provide personalized financial planning and expertise to teach you about goal setting for long-term financial security. TrueMark Financial is federally insured by the NCUA, is an equal opportunity lender. For more information, visit truemark.com/PHLY. And while we're here, Kelly, we're sitting here, we're evaluating players on their first few games of the season, and fair or not, your performance will be graded from the first impression you make. Just ask Ivan Fedotov about how important a first impression can be. So you want to make a lasting impression with a strong, hard performance, especially early in the season. And that's where Blue Chew comes in, baby. Blue Chew helps boost your confidence in the bedroom so you can stay hard and perform at your very best. So the next time someone says, your game's all about speed, you can say, hold on.
Not today.
I'm here to play hard for all 60 minutes and maybe even into overtime. No. What is Blue Chew? Blue Chew is an online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, but at a fraction of the cost and in a chewable form. The process is simple. Sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. And the fine folks at Blue Chew are putting their money where their mouth is. You can try Blue Chew's tablets free for a month and see for yourself. They say there's nothing sexier than confidence, and Blue Chew can give you the confidence to get greasy and go hard into the crease. And we've got a special offer for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code ALLCITY at checkout. Just pay the $5 shipping. That's BlueChew.com, promo code ALLCITY to receive your first month free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring this podcast. That was fun.
I can tell you enjoyed it immensely.
I did. Something else I've been enjoying, Rasmus Ristolainen. That's right. Risto Oh, did I make him a Snickers?
He got a
too?
Oh
Snickers
my
too.
God.
Oh,
You
What
get
is
a Snickers. You get a Snickers.
I switched that, and I didn't switch the other one.
Ah.
That's on me. I forget what I wanted to make him.
Okay.
But anyway, that's my fault.
I'll allow it.
Risto has a goal and an assist on the season. He's playing 18-24 on average. Minutes have been way up since Cam York went down, and he. And if you're trying to go down, maybe check out Blue Chew. Cam York got injured. All of a sudden, Risto's playing 23 plus a night, basically on that top pair. He's looked really good in an expanded role and away from Zamula. I know you don't want to do this, Charlie, but for the sake of the exercise, how would you configure the D pairs based on the information we have right now when York comes back?
Oh, you kind of threw that on me. Look, if you want to
You gotta
try,
know how to configure
if you
your
want to
D,
try
Charlie.
to see if Cam York can thrive on a different pair because you have trust in his ability to carry someone else, yeah, maybe the team is deeper if you keep Sanheim Risto together and you put York with. It's just it's tough because there isn't like an obvious fit. Like the theoretical idea of Sealer York, like they're both good, but that would involve you putting York back on the right probably, and York has made it clear he doesn't particularly care for that.
Yeah.
He was much better. I don't know if he was much better, but he said he definitely was more comfortable. He felt better on the left. I think they now view him more or less exclusively as a left side defenseman. So if it's not York Sealer, are you going to try to have York carry Drysdale? Like, is that the plan? I don't think you want to put York with Zamula.
No.
York Andre, maybe you try Andre on the right side, but Andre's a rookie. I wouldn't want to throw him into top 4 minutes alongside Cam York just because he's had 2 pretty good games to start off his NHL season. I don't hate the idea, but can you give me an idea of what the pairs would look like if you keep Sanheim Risto together? Who do you then put with York?
That's the problem, is they don't have the righty that fits that spot.
That's the issue.
Because I don't want it to be Drysdale. And if that's the case, then you kind of got to... So I'm thinking Risto Andre. That's where I go from here.
And then maybe you trust that third pair can crush those sheltered minutes. Yeah. You hang on for Sealer Drysdale for now, and you hope that York Sanheim can continue to run train on everybody.
But BlueChew.com.
Did you say?
Anyway, Risto, surprising treat, I would say thus far. So what does what candy would he
Snickers bar.
what kind of candy would he be? A surprising treat. You're like, oh, that is much better than I expected. I can't think of anything.
What if he's like one of those like weird Reese's candies where you're like
a fast breaker.
This isn't a Reese's. This is gonna be good, and you eat it, and you're like, it's not that bad. I
All
like
right.
it.
Yeah.
Let's
More
try
than
to.
I thought I would.
Yeah, let's try to run through some of these just because I don't want the Photoshops to go to waste.
No.
And the next one's my favorite. Ivan Fedotov.
Oh.
I thought you were going to do.
no.
I thought you were going to do the Charlie Brown. I got a rock.
I got a
Box
rock.
of
That's funny too.
raisins.
That's what I thought.
That would be funny too. I mean, he's 0-3-0 with an 821, a 535. 58 goalies have made at least or 68 goalies, excuse me, have made at least one start. Fedotov's save percentage is 67th. Ville Husso is the only one who's worse at 714.
Poor Freddy.
And Fedotov's goals against is 66th out of 68. Jari is also real bad, and Husso is there as well. Of course, Husso has only made one start, and it lasted 25 and a half minutes. He
Yeah.
gave up 4 goals on 14 shots.
Right.
So effectively, Ivan Fedotov has been the worst goalie in hockey. He is an apple.
It's been bad.
He's an apple.
The hope is that maybe at some point he can figure it out, but given the fact that Kolosov is still with the team, I'm not sure when he gets another opportunity. It's going to be interesting to see how they play
They
this out.
haven't said anything about it, right? We're just kind of like vibing.
We're vibing. Well, if I had to guess, they're going to put this off until York comes back.
Okay.
They're just going to keep 3 goalies
Why not?
and just roll.
All right. Yeah, he has been a trick, certainly. Just a little message. If
So
you give
handsome,
someone
though.
an apple, it's getting thrown back at your house.
I like apples.
Owen Tippett. 1 goal in 10 games, and
I don't even know what that is.
You know
Fun
what
dip?
Fun
dip?
is?
Yeah.
What happened to you as a child?
never-
it's just sugar in a packet, and you
And
get
you
like a
lick
little
a
stick,
stick?
and you lick
No.
it, and then eat the sugar off the
Yeah.
stick.
Yeah, that's probably why I didn't know what it is.
I just thought it was a fun thing.
It's a really bad idea.
I just thought it was a fun name for a Tippett
you're,
fun
like,
dip. I
12.
just thought it was funny.
I like it.
Had a few stretches like this in 2022-23. I went back through his game log. 1 goal in 10 games. Last season, he was much more consistent. He had a couple, I think he had 7 and 9 game stretch where he only had about 1 goal.
Mm-hmm.
But this is who he is. He's going to be streaky. He is a goal scorer. And again, when you start a season like this, we're going to have a negative impression, even though at the end of the year, I bet you he has 28, 30 goals.
Maybe. The one thing about him is that he's back to missing the net again.
Yes.
It looked like he was over that after a few games, and now he's back to missing the net again like crazy. And it wouldn't be as glaring if it wasn't for the fact that he shoots more than anybody else on the team.
Yeah.
Dude, you got to hit the net.
You really do.
So I know it's only 10 games, but also it's been 10 games. So
Yeah, it's concerning.
hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before I wasn't really freaking out about it, but now I'm like, buddy, when are you going to start doing the one thing that you need to do here?
It's like the Elliot Friedman thing, man. Yeah, it can get late early. I realize it's only October 30th, but that means in 2 days it's November 1st. And if you're not within 4 points of the playoffs on November 1st, you typically do not make it. It's like a 70% chance that you don't make the playoffs. That's where that means it's indicative of the way your season goes.
Yeah.
It's the first month and he has 1 goal.
It's concerning. It's concerning because he, just like someone like Tyson Forrester, Joel Farabee, these are guys that the Flyers were depending upon to take steps forward to improve. And so far, they're not. Morgan Frost.
All right, we only have a few minutes left, so I'm going to skip to the end and do Bobby Brink as the last one. And this is a personal one. He's a Clark bar because he's one of my favorites, but I can never find him anywhere.
Hey!
I think Clark bars are discontinued. I'm pretty sure.
Is it like a Butterfinger?
I don't know if I've ever eaten a Clark
It's
bar.
kind of like a Butterfinger.
Okay.
Kind of like a Butterfinger.
Yeah, that's what Risto should have been, a Butterfinger.
Butterfinger.
Yeah.
He started the season on a 4-game point streak. He had 1 goal and 3 assists, then went without a point in the home opener and the first of the back-to-backs against the Caps. Then he sat for 3 games, and he came back last night and played a team-low 11 minutes. Bobby Brink, trick or treat so far?
I thought he looked okay last night.
To me, he's a treat because this is what he is. He's a point-producing guy that you got to shelter, and it's up to the coach to put him in the right position.
That's the thing. I think he's a treat too because, you have to know what you're going to get out of him. I'm not expecting him to be a 40-goal scorer.
That's the thing is
a third pair guy. You
40
need a good third pair guy.
40 points for him is what I...
Sorry, that's what I meant, yeah.
4 points, 40, 50-point pay. That's what I expect out of him. I think he's a third line guy that you have on your power play.
Yes.
And that's 40 points is great. That's what I think he is. It's just up to the coach to utilize him right. It doesn't seem as if the coach is interested in that.
Right.
So it's a treat, but
We're back to Torts being
What do you think, Charlie?
I'm going to go trick.
You're trick.
Because here's the thing. Say what you will about disagreeing with Torts' decisions. He's the coach. And it is I think Justin Bourne wrote an article about this a decade ago. And his point was, it is a skill to be in the good graces of your coach.
That's fair.
That's part of moving up the ladder. Part of moving up the ladder is doing the things that your coach wants you to do and not ticking him off. And so far, Bobby Brink has not done that. And I can't give him a treat because he's had some good games. Yes, he's done some good things. He's done some good things offensively. If you look at his point totals, they look pretty good. But in the end, if he's going to stick here long-term with the Flyers, he's going to have to win over John Tortorella. And so far, he has not done that.
I'd argue, though, that John Tortorella does not have, a key code like most coaches. I feel like every guy has to do a different thing for him.
Fair.
To
it's
like
harder.
them.
It's harder, but that's the whole way they're building the
Yes.
organization,
Yeah.
is they want it to be hard.
All right.
BlueChew.com.
Anyway, that is just about all the time we have for you today. I want to thank all of our diehards. If you're not a subscriber, do it at allphly.com. $48 for the year. It's great. But thanks to our existing subscribers. Now let's hit those super chats. This first one from Neil Dexter. He says, Dexter Damas is back trying to think of the biggest monster on the team. I think Hathaway pots one tomorrow.
Why not?
I mean, Well, it could be Delorier, but they're not going to change the lineup
Yeah, I
after
don't
the
think
game
Delorier
they just
plays.
had. So I
Yeah.
guess it would have to be Hathaway. All right, Neil.
Unless it's Rist.
We will bring this up on pre and post tomorrow. So let's see if you can
better be
continue
back.
your awesome predictions. Let's hit Gary B. First one from him here. Playoff Risto. I need to see it at some point.
Some team's gonna need him at some point.
We'll see.
Somebody's gonna need him. This might be the year.
This could be
'cause
it.
He looks
Could be the
really
But
year.
if
good.
he's good, we want to keep him now.
Depends on what we get.
Yeah, it's
The
fair.
whole
Yeah.
point of trading a guy high is that you don't
You
fall
get
in love
stuff.
with him. Because if you're trading high, that means you're trading him when he's doing really well. That's why teams want him. You
Yeah.
can't then fall in love with the guy.
All right,
Never
you're
do
probably
that.
I'm
right.
just saying.
That's why I can't be a GM. And Gary B says, Bet365 is the perfect partner for the Flyers. Neither are ever ordinary.
Yep.
And that's where we believe you. Thank you very much for listening. Thanks for hanging out. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Follow us right here on the YouTube page. Set that reminder bell so you never miss a live show. We'll be back tomorrow, Halloween, with pre and post game, 4 o'clock then. And you just check out our Twitter at PHLY_Flyers. And guess what? You'll see our schedule there. And follow the podcast wherever you get those. Just search PHLY Flyers. That's it for us. My name is Bill Matz. That's Charlie O'Connor. That's Kelly Hinkle. Until tomorrow, let's go Flyers and happy Halloween.
We all silly like the mayor.